Yeah, TK with the Players Lounge shirt. What's up, everyone? It is Bulldog Banter. Sorry, we're a little bit late this week. Usually go on Sunday night, but we had some things. Knowshon was working the Denver Broncos post game, I believe, so we pushed it back to this morning. So we appreciate everyone joining us here on a Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern. It is Aaron Murray, Tavarres King, Knowshon Moreno, and Ben Jones, and we have a lot to dive into here this morning. We have obviously Georgia's game versus Auburn, Kirby Smart's comments after the game about the Georgia fans. We're going to touch that. Obviously give our opinions about position groups, how everyone looked in the game, and then just a wild weekend in college football of all these crazy ass upsets. What does that mean for Georgia? What does that mean for the SEC? We'll hit on all of that this morning. We appreciate everyone joining us here. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll be shooting 2 shows tonight for our players in Athens. They'll probably come out, I'm guessing, Wednesday, Thursday. So hit that like, hit that subscribe so you get notifications when those videos do come out from not only us, but our current student athletes. All right, fellas, before we get into the X's and O's, I think this is the bigger thing, and I just want to dive right into it. And I'm going to pull up the article real quick right now so that Knowshon can appreciate my production value.
Love it.
Damn, I got an ad on it. No, we don't want that. All right, here we go. Share. Bam. Georgia's Kirby Smart disappointed in our fans for the first time in a home win over the Dogs. I was there, so I'll go last here with my thoughts on how the atmosphere felt, but let's go around the horn here. Everyone's thoughts on Kirby's comments about Georgia and the fans not being as rowdy in a rivalry game against the Auburn Tigers. We'll go first with TK right below me.
Aaron, can you tell us? Does he have a quote in there? Does he have a quote?
Okay, I'll go with the quote.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, to be honest, I'm probably disappointed in our fans for the first time. He told DJ, I thought there was a lack of real affecting the game, crowd noise wise, passion, and energy. Hey, it was hot, but our players got full pads on helmets, pads, and it's hot there. They're pushing, trying to have a home field advantage like we've had when we've played against teams, and I can't get crowd noise. That's frustrating for me. I'll just be honest about it. I think if we've got to do a better job as fans, I know I've got to do a better job as a coach, but we need these fans to support us, and these players need them behind them. Shots to the fans from Kirby Smarts. Mr. Bizzle agrees. I agree with Kirby. So let's go down around the horn here, fellas, on thoughts from Kirby's quotes about the fans stepping up a little bit.
Man, I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, like you said, you were the only one there, so I can't speak to the environment of how the stadium was. Yeah, I mean that's tough, but I know as a fan, and former player, I mean you definitely want to see what you've been seeing in the past from the team, and we've had slow starts. Let's be honest there, but those guys have, like he said in that article, showed up play after play, game after game. And we need our fans to be rowdy. So I can't necessarily speak to the environment or call out fans on how it was there because I wasn't in attendance. So, but I mean, I will say if it was quiet and dull, that ain't us as a fan base. So
let me ask Ben and Knowshon this and twist it a little bit. Have we gotten so used to winning and winning big that we've now turned into Alabama, and fans are just there to say I was there because we know we're going to kick their ass? Because I'll be honest, like the game was in the beginning of the fourth quarter, rivalry game against Auburn, one of your biggest rivals, and fans were leaving, and it wasn't like the game was out of reach at that point either. So have we gotten as a fan base a little too big for our britches, Ben?
Well, they haven't lost at home since I think 18 or 19. So yes, they expect to win at home, and it's Auburn. Like I could understand if you're playing a team like Tennessee Tech and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Hey, that's a game where you bring your kids to, It's a cheaper ticket. You know you're going to get in and out. You're coming for the atmosphere just to say you went to a game. But, hey, this has got to mean more to you. Like, I know I have family at the game last weekend and stuff like that, and I know they're diehards. They're cheering their lungs. They are absolute diehards. But I know, even playing there, like we'd have some games you're like, man, it's hot. I'm kind of fans are kind of just chilling. But if it's a night game in Athens, I don't care who we're playing. It's a different atmosphere.
Yeah.
Those 30 games in September and October, I feel them. It's hot in there. And they're trying to support us, and I'm just happy they're there every week. Sometimes they're not yelling and screaming, but keep showing up.
But no, so what does it do for you as a player when you are at home and the crowd is not into a game the way that we believe that they should be? Does that affect you at all? Like, do you notice it at all? Or is it just we don't notice it as much because we're offensive guys compared to the defensive guys?
Now you notice a little something. You notice when the crowd is into a game, especially when it's a close one, right? You could feel that crowd, bearing down on the opponent team. And then when you go out there, you try to make a play and get them back into the game. I think Kirby said it pretty well, though. He said he has to coach better, right? So I'd love to hear that. He puts it. Kirby's a pro, bro. He's gonna put it back on himself as well, right? Like, hey, I got to coach better, but we also need people, and I feel him because later on in the season we got some tough SEC games that we're gonna need our crowd to be into those games, right? The season's definitely not over, so we have some tough ones coming up. But at the same time, I think it's everyone. It's not just the fans. Give the fans something to be excited about. Where's all the explosive plays? Where's the 14, the 21 early, so that the crowd is into the game and going crazy?
But like I was saying, that goes back to Georgia fans being spoiled because isn't it like when you were playing and we were playing, we were scoring a lot of points, but 31 points is still a lot of points in a football game. And I think we get spoiled because we expect 30 points in the first half. Like, no, getting 31 points in a SEC game is still a lot of points. That should not dictate to you as a fan if you're going to get up or not. Like, to me, there is a you're a part of this. If you're a dog, I need your ass getting loud.
100%. Go ahead, Sauce. My bad.
No. Yeah.
I think that the fans have to realize that they are, like you just said, Murray, they are a part of this. Like we do need them. And if he said it, and if Kirby said it, it was obviously noticeable. It was noticeable to him. It was probably noticeable to our sideline. So I think yeah, bro, we have to be a rowdy bunch, and they have to be realize that they are a part of something special. Like it's not they are a part of Georgia. So be proud in that, take pride in that, and it's your game day too. Shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
More game days.
I like what Micah said there too, though, because that's true. I mean, it's almost like playing a team that
No. We all talked about this like last week. Like, Ben, you agree? Like Auburn is one of the best rivalries. I don't care what Auburn is. That is still a big rivalry, right?
I mean, it is to a certain extent, but at the same time, you still got to go out there and dominate. Like
it doesn't matter if you dominate or not. The fans still need to show up through thick or thin, man.
They do.
But
you also got to put some points. That shit looked dull. It looked dull. It does.
I don't care, Ben. If the game is 10, I don't care. I don't care if the game is 10-7.
Screw
the fans need to make an impact.
Okay. I'm with you on that. Sauce. If there was nobody out there,
we will need the fans later. Of course. But screw them. Go out there and play the game somewhere. And then I bet the players ain't worried about it. It's Kirby knowing that the opponents we have later on, we're going to need the fans to be bearing on the opposite team. But it's a plan, man. He's doing it for a purpose. It's for a purpose.
Of course.
But screw the fans.
Let me get Ben in here for this. Ben, I don't care if the game is 3-0 in the third quarter. Fans need to do their job, right or wrong.
Yeah, home field advantage. Like I played in Houston, great crowds. Tennessee, it's a destination. It's kind of like Vandy. Every other people are coming to that game to see Nashville, go out in Nashville. Like Denver, places like that, when you go out there, it is loud no matter if they're good, bad, or anything. It is rocking.
Kansas City,
same way. Advantage. Like I know, like preparing as a center, I'm like, man, I got to have another way to communicate this week. We're going to have to go on silent cadence. That's like a a 6-point swing on an offense because of communication, penalties. Hey, when you had a 3rd and short and all of a sudden it goes to 3rd and long because you false start on the tackle, it's an advantage. And yes, like some of these stadiums are just built different. Like I feel like some of these, like Texas A&M fan base, you got your – I'm sorry, like you go to Auburn, no matter if they're good or bad, it's loud.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
It's the same way when we're in college. Like I felt like some games, it just wasn't loud. Like we have an older fan base who's been season ticket holders for 60 years. And hey, I respect them.
Yeah.
But it needs to be loud. Like we got to have some juice, honestly.
Knowshon, you sound like a little kid who's gotten everything he wants his entire life. And as soon as you don't get the toy for Christmas, you're going to go fucking pound in the corner.
No,
that's what you sound like. Just because we're not scoring 50 points, I'm not going to show up and get loud.
No, you guys like. Do.
That's what you sound like.
You
do.
Oh, since the fans are not hype, we can't play well. Look, no, but you can't blame it on the fans, is what I'm saying. Yes, we're going to need them. But at the same time,
no one's blaming the fans. No one's like, I'm not. We won the game. I'm saying the fans have to be better. You should not think that like, I'm just here to go sit my margaritas and chill in the sands, and then take a bunch of selfies and say I was at the Georgia football game. Your job as a Georgia football fan when you walk into Sanford Stadium is to get fucking loud, right or wrong.
I don't see why you wouldn't want to be. Like, why are you here?
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to relax and enjoy the game, sit at home.
Yeah,
sit at home, watch it on TV.
Chill right here with your butt.
Yeah. I think it is part of it's got to be a culture. Like, hey, we have won national championships. We are the elite of the elite. Everybody's got to be elite. If it's the coaches, the players, it's an atmosphere. Like, if you want your recruits to get recruits, you got to show them an atmosphere. That's a big game. We have recruits there. It needs to be electric. Like, you went to Alabama, Georgia game the week before? Electric.
Yep.
You go to LSU, A&M game, or say, hey, Florida, Tennessee, those atmospheres, no matter if they're good or bad, it's going to be electric because they got fans there and they're going to have all the recruits in. No matter how bad Florida is, when they play Tennessee, it's going to be a big crowd.
But, too, I get what you're saying, Sauce.
No,
if there was zero fans,
I don't care.
If there was zero fans,
where's the juice from the players too?
If there was zero
from
fans,
my backs, I've been saying it for the backs. I'm like, bro, I need to see that pop. I need to see that juice. What happens? Edwards gets in the game, bro. That boy popping shoulder pads. I'm like, bro, now that's the juice I want to see. It has to work both ways, but the fans definitely got to show up. But at the same time, you got to give them something to fan about. That's all I'm saying.
And think about it like this too. Guys tick different. That boy right there tick different. He don't need nobody. He don't need nobody, nothing to do anything. He just want to play football. And that's, I mean, at the end of the day, that's everybody on the screen is like that. Like, you don't need nobody to go out there. You just are a competitor. And that's what I think my man is saying down there. Like, where is
the for us, it don't affect us. Like, it affects the other team. We want them to affect their offense and stuff like that. It doesn't matter. Like a scrimmage, I practice the same way in a scrimmage practice than I do in a game. Like in college, I didn't care. I cut you in practice. And in the game, it said I post a cut on this play. I cut you on screens. So be it. We can fight after it. I had the same mindset in practice the games.
Yeah, this is the first. Listen, this is the first home game of the season, right, Aaron? I mean,
real game. Second real game.
That's
real game.
Real game.
So, I mean, which makes his statement worse, though.
But exactly, it's like you've been waiting. You know, as a fan, you look at this schedule and you say, okay, we only have a handful of really good games at home this year.
Right.
Auburn, I don't care what Auburn is, it's still Auburn, and Tennessee, and then you get Tech at the end of the year. So like, there's only a few games that we're asking you to get up for. That's it. I can
respect that.
Bring your kids to Mississippi State, UMass, people like that. We need the rowdy dogs. I want the dogs barking. We need those dogs on the big games.
Get sauced up, come out.
Let me go to super chat real quick with Shane Bentley in chat. To be honest, gents, I'm the real loser from the past game. I looked at the wrong forecast, and this guy wore jeans while tailgating out of this. It was hot. With that said, the offense did look vanilla. So,
can I ask you a question? This is not the first time Kirby has done this. I feel like he's said this plenty of times before. Hey, we need
because Georgia fans are turning into Alabama fans. We're like just show up and see.
Wait a minute. Wait,
but they're hungry now.
I feel like they're rowdy. They're not rowdy.
Well, they got hungrier. But when Saban was kicking ass, Saban said the same thing 3 or 4 years ago to Alabama fans. I'm sick of looking up at the beginning of the fourth quarter and the stadium is starting to look empty.
Yeah.
He said the same thing. And it was 21. I'm looking at it. It was 21-10. It is an 11-point game when the fourth quarter started, and you look down there and it was starting to get empty.
That's a little interesting, though. Don't you feel that? I mean,
they expect to win. Like they knew we were going to win. They're like, I'm going to beat the traffic.
Really?
Yes.
And that's a gift and a curse. But
look at little Light Dog said, though, bro. It's boring. It is kind of boring.
Then don't go to the game.
Murray. I know, Murray. I know.
Then don't go.
Saying, but
31 points is a lot of points still in an SEC football game. Sorry, it's not 50.
For us at Tennessee, every game we played was boring. We ran it
yeah.
every single play and won 21-18.
Boy,
we scored 21, we're going to win. So Derek, we're going to have
damn sure ain't trying to be in that offense, boy.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's tough, bro. But we're going to need them, right? We're going to.
I will say that. So let me get my honest thoughts on. So I was up.
Man, that's crazy. Whole chat. UGA games boring. UGA games.
Yeah,
that's wild. That is wild.
Wild.
Because that guy's an Alabama fan. He was saying roll tide a few minutes ago. They salty. They want to get on a chat because we won. They got beat by Vandy. That's what they over there worried about.
All right. My honest opinion. So I was up high. So I was up in Brooks's box, which is, kind of up there. So I didn't know if it was because I was kind of where I was. I didn't hear the noise because, like everything funnels down. So I'm like, is it just because we're a little bit up or is it this quiet? But it felt quiet the entire football game. It wasn't like a second half issue. From the very beginning of the football game to the end, it was not loud. It was not rowdy. And then, like I said, to start the fourth quarter, to see that many people leaving the stadium when it was still only an 11-point game was a little wild to me.
Yeah.
Was a little wild.
But what is that though? Because I mean, I love the question. It's like, but why? And I've only go through a certain amount of things is what we've been talking about. So I don't get it.
Well, let's get into the play, man. That's all. Because I do. Listen, this offense. Me personally have said this for weeks now. It's not explosive because there are no explosive playmakers on this offense. There are none. There's no Ryan Williams. There's no guys that can just, Brock Bowers. There's no lad. Like you have a bunch of possession players. That's it. Like not even the running backs are breaking off long runs. Like when's the last time we saw like a 67-yard run from a Georgia running back?
Yeah.
3 years?
Yeah, it's been
so
a minute.
There ain't any position right now that is sexy. They don't have elite playmakers anywhere. They have a bunch of possession guys. Like, let's dive into it right now. Ben, I want to go to the offensive line first because there was some new guys in there. You and I are talking about Bobo's son was the starting center. What did you see from that unit? What did you see from Bobo you liked, you didn't like against the Tigers?
Yeah, that was the first time we got to really see, like, hey, who's going to be the backup center if anything goes wrong. He stepped in. He communicated well. I'm glad we got him a game under his belt versus a big opponent, and he executed. And that's what Murray didn't even know he was playing. So that's how you know an O-lineman did his job. Like, it didn't show up on – like, you didn't like, oh, nothing was a red flag or anything like that. No, he's not as talented as Wilson, like twitchy, but he made the calls. He did everything. He's not a road grader. He's exactly what you want. He can fill in, execute, and that's what you want as your role guy in the inside. We saw Truss get beat early on pass protection. They moved him inside to protect him and brought in Monroe. So, yes, Auburn had a dude out there on the edge, and he got him to Truss's chest, exposed him early. Hey, let's try a different lineup to see if this works better. Let's move Truss inside and get Monroe in. I think that lineup we protected after that, and that's what's good. You don't have to wait till the end of the game to make that adjustment and leave Truss out there on the island, and you can find a better way for him. No, I don't think we have like watching the game last night versus the Bengals. You have Mims, you have big guys. You look at the Steeler guys, Jones. Like, we don't have those tackles. Like the 6'6", 350-pound guys that are shredded. We don't have that guy on our roster right now. Or if he is, he's a freshman.
Yeah, he's one of those freshmen that are all like 6'7" to 6'10".
Yeah, we don't have those guys in the so, and it shows up. We're just smart guys who are just out there facilitating. Yes, they're covering up guys, but they're not knocking guys 5 yards off the ball. I give credit to your boy Etienne. He ran hard when he got the ball. He had some plays for us. He looked good. And the guy, your other freshman, had some runs in the second half.
Yeah.
Knowshon, go to the running backs.
Yeah. Ben mentioned it. I think Etienne ran really hard. He got in the zone twice, right? Love to see it. He's starting to get his groove back. 16 carries for 88, I believe. So it was great to see him go in there and do what he had to do. I need to see a little bit more out of Branson. Especially down there in the goal line. He gets down there in the goal line, bro. You got to get on in there. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're putting that big body in there, is because they know that he can get downhill and use that frame, right? So I want to see a little more out of him. But like what Ben said, Nate came in, and it's just a different speed. It's just a different feel when I feel like he's in there. I don't know. I just like it. I think it gives us energy in that backfield. And I would love to see them keep on using him, throughout the whole season, man. It's time to go ahead and put him in the game a little bit more, because he gives us
He's hit the 4-game mark. He's hit the 4-game mark now.
So you think, but wait a minute, don't do this to me. You said that they don't care about that. You told me this 2 weeks ago.
No, but I'm reiterating to you that he has now played in 4 games.
So
and I think
it's done with.
Nothing about the red shirt.
Well, it's not done with right now. He could, like, if they're going to redshirt him, like, he'd be done now, which I think you play him this many games this early in the season, he's not going to get redshirted. So I'm hoping that now it's like, all right, he's shown us enough. We ain't going to redshirt him. He's looking like our number 2 back. Let's just go out there and play him more.
Yeah. So, man, like I said, I think he brings some juice. Like you see it in the chat. I think, like I said, I heard pads when he got in the game. I'm like, damn, okay, that boy running hard. Someone running hard. So I thought the backs did well. I think they did what they had to do. It just still didn't, as a whole, for the offense, I don't think it was up to par. But maybe we just have to accept the fact that Georgia's not who they were and not who they, you know what I mean? None of that. I don't want to hear no more Murray, 40-17. Don't give me any of that anymore. Don't go no higher than 34.
You say 42
no,
sometimes.
I don't.
Don't put it all on me.
Don't
put it all on me.
I go 30s. And you too, Ben. Ben is over
Hey, I guessed right this week. I was dead on.
Okay.
I wasn't that far off. I said like 34 to.
What was the final score?
Yeah,
I said 31-20 this week, and y'all was like, "Oh, you're gonna give up 20?"
Nah,
I think I was actually pretty close. I think I said like 34-17, maybe, or 34-10.
Yeah, you were closer this week.
Yeah,
but
so
you know what I'm saying. But this big blowouts are not what Georgia is right now. It doesn't mean that it can't get better later on, but as of right now, they're not there. But running backs did well.
T, let's go to the receivers there. Colby played well. London had a couple catches. Dom, Trevor had 6 catches out of the backfield. That's what I love to see, Knowshon. Finally, running back making some plays out of the backfield. 6 for 36, I thought was really good. Dylan had 4 for 18. I still don't think he was throwing the Dylan on that play, but hey, it worked out nicely for the touchdown.
but he threw his hands down. I was like, who does that?
And an early sack though too. I thought because Ben mentioned it. I thought that early sack was on. I thought it was on Carson. I thought some guys were open. He kind of held onto the ball a little bit, but they did still let up a sack.
All right, T, give me your feelings on the receivers, tight ends.
More the same. I'll tell you, just hitting off. I do like Lawson Lucky in there. I don't know if he's taking a step. For me, he's taking a step above Oscar Delp in my own opinion. But I do like him a lot. He blocks, runs great routes. So I do like that starting off. But then more of the same for the wideouts, man. Like you guys were saying earlier, there hadn't been anybody that can catch that slant and do something crazy with it, or just get over the top of somebody down the field. And we have those guys. You know what I'm saying?
Do we?
It just hadn't. I mean, it just hadn't happened.
We talked about that, Aaron. We said we had them. Don't say we don't now.
You have an Arian Smith. You have that can get deep.
It's the play calling. Did Vandy look great?
It's the executing.
Did y'all watch the Vandy game?
I did watch the Vandy game. I watched it last
night.
Why
did the plays look so sexy? Everything was sexy. They schemed that
because they got a mobile ass quarterback they can do a lot with. That they were in and outside the pocket. They're doing shovel pass.
I get it. I get that. But look, but we got Arian Smith, like you said, eye candy. Why are we not using him, flying him across the field?
And that's odd because we were early. We did it a lot in that Clemson game.
I'm just worried.
So it's odd. I don't know. Like more of the same. I'm not disappointed in how we play. Like guys made plays down the field. Kobe Young made some plays down the field on some go balls. London's showing up as well. Dylan on the slant down there. So I mean, guys are making plays. We're doing what we need to do. It's just not, as Knowshon said, sexy. So
there's no creativity. It don't look like right now.
Yeah, I'm not.
Maybe it's just me.
Is it a factor though? I'm going to ask Ben this first, and then Knowshon, I'll let you go afterwards. Is it a factor of playing team football? Because the defense is good this year. I don't know if it's elite right now. Like it's still, they haven't like been dominant this season. Is it a factor of we just need to find ways to win football games at the moment, and we have to play a little bit more complementary, try to win a little bit more time of possession? I don't know. I'm just trying to, like, Kirby's never been one that to me is like, let's go out there and score 50 plus points a game, and I want to be that style of football team. It's always been more of a defensive first mentality, complementary football type thing. Like, do you see that, or is it more Bobo being too conservative on his play calling?
I think we give up. Like, for me, it's just frustrating on like third downs. I'm like, it's 3rd and 1, and we run it and don't get it, and we have to do a QB sneak on 4th and 1. I'm like, we should be able to line up on 3rd and 1. We're the University of Georgia, have 5-star running backs and linemen. We got to be able to get 1 yard. We shouldn't be doing QB sneaks on 4th and 1. We have to go to a fade on 3rd and 1 now because we can't line up and run it down people's throat. Like, that's where I'm like, dude, what have we gotten into? Like, this is what we've got to go to. We got to throw the ball on 3rd and 1. Like, yes, I understand if you're in a shot situation, you can take a shot every once in a while because you know you're going to go for it on 4th and 1. But having to sit there and throw a back shoulder fade on 3rd and 1, I'm not. As an offensive lineman, that's a diss. Like, hey, they don't trust me to get a yard here when I got good backs. So that's why I want to call out the guys like, hey, that's got to take personal. Like, we used to line up no matter what they were in on 3rd and 1. Knowshon's getting it. Brandon Harton was getting it. It didn't matter. Like, whoever was back there, we're getting one from the offensive line. We were going to move the guy and get the first down. Yes, I love explosive plays, though. Like, as an offensive lineman, you got to run the ball and be effective to take these shots. That's where it comes up. Like, if you're not sitting back and taking straight dropbacks to take these shots and creative plays, if you can't run it, you can't do these explosive play actions, your flea flickers, your reverse passes, all the stuff that you scheme up. You got to be able to run it first and be effective at it.
Yeah, I love to see that they got Lawson, involved early. A big play early. I'm like, yeah, get them tight ends involved. And then seeing Humphreys later on too. I mean, I love seeing him late too, but I'm like, damn, where he at earlier? But when it comes to the scheming of the plays, man, I'm not sure, man. Because we got, like you said, we have the players. I don't know if he's saving it or we just don't have it anymore. I don't know, man. I'll leave it up to y'all. What do you think, Murray? You're on mute. You're on mute.
I think it's more of a player issue than it is a Bobo issue. I lean a little bit more.
You don't have what you had. Like, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the same. Like, we're talking about not having two guys from last year that were making plays that could turn 5 yards into a 70 yards. So that makes a big ass difference in what you can call and can't call. Like, I think it makes a big ass difference.
Oh, no. Okay.
Like, Bowers did it yesterday. That was the only highlight of the Raiders game for them. He had a bomb, broke a tackle, housed it. Like, he's doing it in the league. So, and that's a good defense that Denver has, and he's making plays, and they don't have any other weapons out there at Oakland right now.
To me, what position group for Georgia's playing well right now? Can we name one that is playing? I would say football at the moment.
I'm saying D-line. I think they're doing great up front.
Offense. We're on offense here.
Offense.
You think the D-line is doing great?
Yeah, I think the D-line is doing fine.
I don't.
When it comes to getting to the quarterback, I think they're getting to the quarterback.
I don't think they're doing fine giving up 6 yards.
A carry. They're just getting run on their throat. I think that's the style of defense we play, though. We're protecting our corner, so our D-line's getting doubled on everything, and they're just kind of sitting back. But offensive line, we're not playing up to standard.
Somebody got to field it.
Offensively, for us to be sitting here, I'm still thinking about it. That's not good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what if I'm Bobo and I'm trying to game plan right now and saying I can lean on this unit to go win a football game at the moment? What is that unit? what is that unit that is playing head over heels, dominant football that I can say we can do? We can either line up and run it, or we can throw it down the field, or we can get it to this guy in space and they can go make plays.
I like us.
Yeah.
If we, I mean,
I'm
if
gonna have to go tight
we
ends,
can picking one.
I mean,
I like
We
us.
have to, but y'all have y'all's flaws too. We have
No,
drop
yeah,
passes.
Hell yeah.
100%.
Like, everybody has their.
100%, you know. But I like us though.
If
All I'm
anybody
saying.
is the
That's
backs,
all I'm
the
saying,
backs
Joshua.
is actually they don't get many chances. They make the opportunities come at
Yeah.
life.
True.
Like we ain't blocking the best for them. I'm just being honest. Like we're not giving them the best situation. Like it's ugly in there, and he's turning chicken, you know what, into chicken salad someplace.
Mhm. I agree with that. I do agree. Like ETN has looked good. The Young Bucks look good. Branson's been a little bit disappointing. I want to see him
Cash
just
looks
be
good
more
on third
physical.
downs. Him and ETN on
Cash has
third
been
down.
good.
Cash does look really, really good.
Let me ask y'all. In this kind of game, right? I watched the whole game. I know y'all watched the whole game too. For me, when it comes to Carson, I feel like this is a time when the numbers, when you look at his numbers, 23 for 29, 240, no picks, 2 touchdowns. If you were to look at the stats, you would be like, that was a decent game. But I feel like when you look at it, this is a situation where the stats lie a little bit. The stats lie. Yes, he protected the ball, but it just don't look like what the stats say. I don't know if it's you or me.
We're old school Alabama right now. Like when they were good, they were elite on defense, which we aren't, right? Like when we won those 2 national championships, we were elite on defense and had some playmakers. We're just we're out coaching people and getting by right now, I feel like.
You talking about AJ?
Are the stats lying though when it comes to Carson?
Bama.
It didn't look like that, right?
No, it didn't feel like
that's
that
how
at all.
AJ
It didn't.
McCarron used to get like 280 yards passing, and you'd be like, he did what? Like how did he just manufactured and did what he had to do, and it was nothing flashy.
He's managing the game right now.
Okay,
he's managing the game right now, and I think, and I want to
winning it for us.
I want to tail this into the next topic real quick. Of Georgia doesn't seem sexy at the moment on either side of the football. They're a really good football team. Are they an elite team? Are they as good as what Georgia's had the past 5 years? No, Georgia would lose to each of the last 5-year teams right now if they played. Like, let's all be honest. Like, if Georgia lined up against the 20, 21, 22, 23 football teams, last 3 teams, they would get smoked right now. Plain and simple. They would get smoked. But college football this year is freaking weird because right now, I don't know who is elite. I really don't. Like, is Texas elite? Like, they haven't really played anyone, and Michigan sucks, like, as we've seen this past weekend. It's like, that was a great win, and I do think Texas is a really good football team, but, like, I still don't know. Ohio State, we're going to learn about them versus Oregon this weekend, so that will answer that question. But Tennessee lost to Arkansas. Alabama lost to freaking Vandy. A&M beat Missouri. Michigan lost to Washington. USC lost. So, like, I don't know if there is anyone that is elite to the standard that we've seen in college football, like the 2019 LSU, the 2020 Alabama, the 2021 Georgia, 2022 Georgia, like the 2023 Michigan. There isn't a team that is like that right now.
Yeah.
At least you watch. Like maybe Ohio State is, maybe Texas is. I still TBD on that one. But overall, like, is this version of Georgia and what we're seeing in 2024 with all this chaos, is that still maybe good enough to win a championship?
It's whoever gets hot and stays healthy, honestly. You got to get into the dance and anything. Like in 2019, the Titans, we started 2-4, awful. Everybody should have got fired that year. We got into the show, we beat Baltimore, New England on the road. It's whoever gets hot. Like, you got to play good football at the end of the year. Like, no, we got to get better. Like, if we're not getting better at the end of the year, it's whoever's getting better, who's still practicing, who's developing. Because the same thing last year, we wasn't playing good football at this time. And we sat on here and talked about, hey, how are we giving up points to UAB? Like, we can't stop the run. Auburn ran perimeter runs on us the whole game. Stuff like that. We're like, all right, we're a little better on defense this year. We're not giving up those huge games on running besides Milroy. But other than that, we're like, hey, we might be a little better on defense. Our corners are not playing elite, but can they get better by the end of the year and give us a chance if we get in this playoffs to make a run? Like, we got to have a chance. We got to give ourselves a chance and be elite at the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Are
sure.
y'all worried
It's
at all,
up-
TK and Knowshon? Like what you're seeing right now, like are you worried that this team, like are you worried that they don't even make the playoffs with the schedule they have going
I
forward?
don't think I'm worried with that. Man.
Mm-mm.
We
Okay.
got to make the playoffs. I mean,
I mean-
go ahead, T.
No, you
Yeah.
got it. You was talking.
No, it was
Yeah.
none. I wasn't gonna say no. Go ahead, on you.
So you got to make the playoff. No, I feel you said it, Murray. Like all these other teams are kind of up in the air too. Like
Yeah.
Alabama just lost to Vandy. Everybody's kind of just in the middle of the road, kind of learning, figuring out where the hell they are right now.
Yeah.
Who the hell they are.
Mm.
And like Ben said, the first team that does it and keeps it hot is going to be that team that's rolling into the playoffs. But it's just like the league, bro. Once you get into the playoffs, it's a different season.
It is.
It is a
Who's
whole
healthy?
different it's
Who's
a whole
healthy?
different season, bro. And even up here, mentally, coaches, everybody just goes into playoff mode, and it's different. Like, it's undescribable, really. But guys are just locked in a different manner. So once you get in the dance, you got to be rocking on all cylinders.
I want to go to this question real quick. Do y'all think NIL is messing with team chemistry or just hunger for the game? I think it to me, where I see it's not even NIL. I think it's more the transfer portal.
Transfer portal. You can leave.
It is the feeling of like I can have 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Mm.
Yeah,
I don't think it's NIL.
It ain't the money. It's that. Yeah, it's 100% transfer portal. Like if you feel like you have an escape or somebody's not treating you right, it's easy. It's easy on these kids. Really, like it makes them soft in essence. It's not real. It's not the real world. Essentially, if things aren't going your way, you can't just deuce out. So yeah, it's not real. I think it's a transfer portal that's kind of effing up team chemistry and things like that. NIL, I'm all for NIL, man. Like guys deserve every bit of what they what they make, and I can only imagine what y'all boys would have been making out here. Kind of hating.
Yes,
it's kind of crazy.
I don't think like NIL, everybody's worried about the money. I'm like, you're gonna get it at some point if you're good. If you're good, that means you're gonna get it at the next level. You just gotta grow up a little earlier. But the thing is the transfer portal. Like, yes, you're paying these kids, you're not holding them accountable. Like back in the day, we knew we couldn't leave unless you want to go down to a small JUCO. Like you had to grind. Like no matter how bad mat drills was or practice and camp was, hey, you're gonna suck it up or you're gonna go down to what Georgia military or somewhere out west.
GMAT. Yeah, gonna go to GMAT.
You didn't want none of that. So I'm like, man, Georgia's a lot better in transferring. I'm telling you that.
Yes. Yeah. It's just too easy now, man. It's too easy with the transfer portal. So I don't think it's that. I do have to go to Rad Dad with the super chat. Appreciate you. Don't love the comment, but I do appreciate you with the super chat. Bobo, offense hasn't been the same since Monken. Literally half the plays are just run up the middle. Got out-coached SEC champ and lost our third natty. I'll also get back to that SEC championship game. We weren't healthy. You talk about Ben, talk about like postseason being healthy.
It's like
Brock
three guys
looked awful. Lad looked awful. Yeah, they were just
another one. Somebody else.
Shit.
Mims was out.
Yeah. They just were not healthy in that football game. I think if Georgia was healthy, they win that football game.
Yeah.
Georgia was healthy, they win that football game.
Well, we didn't run it up the middle versus Alabama, and we still lost. We threw it every play. We aired that joker out. Are fans mad about that? Like, what do you want? Like, you want us to air it out or you want us to run it? Like, we can't run it up the middle. We can't run it outside. Like, what do you want? At some point, the guys got to step up and make plays. Like, no matter, I don't care if it's 34 dive, whatever it is. If you block it right, it can gain yards. We could call anything the Knowshon. We could run horn balls. We could run lead polo. You know what? He gained yards because he ran hard.
That's the silly shit about it, bro. Like, even on that little, like it's etched into my brain. Even on that mishap with the screen against Alabama and Arian, like if that gets off, it's a walk-in, bro. Like, and then everybody's just on Bobo's nuts. So it's crazy. To your point, Ben, you're not gonna please people just at all.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah. Back another super chat from Trax Dodge. Impossible to really know, but how much did COVID in the years it added to the players' careers change the perception of what elite is in college football? I just think it spread out the wealth. I think the one good thing with the transfer portal and NIL is there are more good football teams. Yeah. And with COVID too, with all these extra years, you have teams that maybe didn't have elite talent, but could stack players that were fourth-year guys, fifth-year guys, 6-year guys, 7th-year guys, like 8th-year guys that are just more mature, that have played more football, that can balance out the, hey, I'm not as good, but I've been here, done it longer, and make my team a little bit better that way as well. So it has balanced out college football. Like, at the end of the day, I think it's a good year. Like, we all may be all mad at our individual teams. Like, Alabama fans are fuming that they lost to Vanderbilt. We're fuming that we're not as good as we've been in years past. Whatever, you can name any team right now. They're pissed off. But guess what? The overall health of college football, I think it's going to be good because I don't know who's going to win a national championship this year. I really don't.
I like it.
That's a good thing. That's good, right?
Yeah.
I like that. College football is fun. I had the most fun watching college football this weekend I've had.
Yeah, for supposedly a shitty weekend.
Right.
This was one of the best weekends of college football.
Yeah.
It looked at that when you looked at
fun.
the opponents, you're like, dang, this is a whack weekend. There ain't no big games. But it turned out to be a crazy weekend. But I mean, that's how the SEC is. Man, any week, anyone can jump on you. I feel like in the SEC.
That's why I try to tell you trap games. They're like, oh, Auburn's not a trap game. We're supposed to beat them. You think Alabama wasn't supposed to beat them and Tennessee supposed to beat Arkansas? Anybody can get exposed in the SEC. Like, it happened.
Yeah, it's funny going into that Vandy Stadium though, bro. It's so like
it was 80-20 this weekend.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was hella Bama fans there.
It was literally student section and parents.
Dude, that's why I tweeted after the game. I said, that's why I said after the game, I said, tweeted out, all 5,000 Vandy fans better storm the fucking field because that was all
and they did, and it was all on one side of the field.
Right, the post from their stadium to downtown. They walked with that thing 2 miles.
Oh,
I love it.
That was awesome. Good for them, man. Like,
that's great.
Good for Vandy. They should be 4-1 right now, if not 5-0 or 5-0.
Bro, the way that they schemed up that game, that's all I kept on saying. How are they 2-2? Like, if they're playing like this, they gave
the other 2 games away. I think they missed a field goal versus Missouri.
They should have beat Mizzou.
Okay.
They should beat Mizzou. They should have beat, I think, Georgia State or Southern, one of the Georgia teams.
Hey, we got to talk about my boy after the game. My boy was spazzing. He said, we effing hurt.
Yo, he was cursing and stuff. I was like, yo, he going crazy.
Who said this?
The quarterback, dog.
Pablo, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Oh,
so he was cursing. I was like, did he just say it? He just cursed.
Yo, he was lit. My boy was lit. I would have been too, though.
Good for Vandy, boys. Good for Vandy. All right. Well, that is it for this morning. Appreciate everyone joining us. Again, like, subscribe. We'll be shooting 2 shows with our current student athletes tonight. That will come out throughout the week. We will do a pregame show on Thursday night with us, previewing the Mississippi State game. Also kind of look into some of these other games. Texas, Oklahoma, the first Red River rivalry game in the SEC is going to be this weekend. Penn State, USC is going to be a good football game. What else we got? We got Florida, Tennessee, Ohio State, Oregon, Ole Miss, LSU, Georgia, Kansas State, Colorado,
Georgia, Mississippi.
Yeah, don't.
I listen. We ain't taking no one for granted. Let's get out there.
I mentioned that. I said we're going to preview that, but also these other games too. Simmer down.
Oh, yeah,
and our boy was, of course.
And our boy was crashing out in 13 for Alabama.
I watched it the whole time. When he got that penalty at the end, I didn't even know. I didn't even have to know it was him. I was like, oh, it's number 13. Bro, number 13.
He was spazzing. Like,
they were trying to take him out of the game before that. He's like, I ain't coming out.
Through his mouth.
Malachi. Come on, Malachi.
My boy is spazzing.
Come on now. All right. Well, that is it. Appreciate Tavarres King, Knowshon, Ben Jones, and we will see you guys Thursday for another Bulldog Banter. Have a good one.